Hello everybody, I hope you all are doing well. With this video, we start a very important system, that is the endocrine system. Endocrine system is a vast system and it is so important basically to maintain homeostasis. I hope you are aware of what it is. Endocrine system में what you have to remember A is जो भी हम लोग glands वगैरह करेंगे उनका location, functions, most definitely, feedback mechanisms, hormone names, all this can be asked either as a long question and most definitely as 2 markers or MCQ questions. I expect a little background knowledge of endocrine. तुमको इतना पता होगा कि they are ductless glands. That means कि they don't have a duct. जैसे salivary glands का एक duct होता है जहाँ से वो अपना secretion saliva बनाएगा, duct यानी एक पाइप से जाएगा, माउथ में उसका opening होगा and saliva will be released, right? But these glands they don't have a duct. तो उनका जो भी hormonal production है it is released directly into the blood, gland से blood. And since we know कि blood तो पूरे body में जाता है, that blood will reach the target organ where it has to act and then complete its action. Now, what is a hormone? Hormone is a chemical signal that is secreted into circulatory system and communicates regulatory messages within the body. This is an important definition and it can be asked as a 2 marker. Hormone क्या होता है? It is like a chemical signal जो release होता है. Like we know that it is going into the blood, so it is released into the circulatory system and it communicates regulatory messages. Regulatory messages यानी अभी करो, ये करो, वो करो, those kind of messages within the body. Okay. Next point we've already discussed that they are called as ductless gland. Homeostasis, which I was talking about, is maintained by one, endocrine system, and second is our ANS, that is autonomic nervous system. Now, autonomic nervous system is quite quick and it is going to do rapid changes. अगर कुछ important है या एकदम तुरंत action चाहिए, then we will not say कि endocrine listen release this hormone. We would rather want quicker action, so we will go to ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. बट जितना ही फास्ट उसका एक्शन है उतना ही नॉन सस्टेनेबल है. क्विक एक्शन एंड क्विक नॉन एक्शन, तुरंत एक्शन किया और फिर तुरंत बैठ भी जाता है. बट विथ endocrine it is, though the action is slower, it is for longer duration. Like I'll give you an example. Autonomic nervous system is sympathetic, we know that it increases heart rate. Similarly, in endocrine also, the thyroid hormone increases heart rate. दोनों का काम heart rate increase करना है. But when you are in an acute emergency, that time our body will tend or opt कि autonomic nervous system activate होगा और वो heart rate increase करेगा. When you are in a generalized condition, it will be done more by the endocrine glands. I hope this is clear. Now, there is also one thing, any abnormalities which are present, it could be either because of increased secretion, that is overactivity. अगर कुछ भी चीज ज्यादा secrete हो रहा है तो उसका function ज्यादा करेगा and thus हम लोग को कुछ defects मिलेगा. Similarly, on other side of the spectrum, अगर उसका hormone secretion कम है, there is underactivity of the gland, तो हमारी जो भी उसके functions है hormone के, that will be underdone, they will not be fully done and hence we will again get an abnormality. So जो भी endocrine की applied section आएगा, it will be on either side. It could be because of underactivity or overactivity, all of them. Right? Now, one question which might have popped into your head, it is going into blood. Yeah, there is no direct duct. तो पूरे बॉडी में जा रहा है, देन हाउ डज इट नो कि मेरे को एक्शन यहाँ पे ही करना है, या राइट, like I said कि हार्ट रेट इंक्रीज करना है, but the whole hormone is going into the body. How does it know कि now I have reached the heart and now I have to tell heart कि come on, start pumping more and pumping with more force, right? So there are specific receptors. I expect chemistry people to know this very well. There are receptors which are going to transudate those signals, and then they will pass on the message, and thus a response will take place. Although the hormone is going into the whole body, जो receptor से उसको bind होना है, let's say this is the receptor and this is the hormone, that is not present everywhere. जहाँ पे उसको action करना है वो ही जगह पे such receptors will be present. Hormone receptors are large protein present in target cell. Target cell is the one where it has to act. Each cell has thousands of receptors. Of course, ऐसा नहीं है कि एक cell को एक ही receptor रहेगा. Important characteristic feature of the receptor is that each receptor is a specific for one single hormone. That is, each receptor can combine with only one hormone. This is an important point when we talk about hormone action. Next, we see the situation of these receptors. So these receptors, one thing which we know is that they could be cell membrane, यानी membrane पे हो सकता है, ये हमने देखे भी है. But the endocrinal receptors can either be in the cell membrane, yeah, they could be in the cytoplasm, or they could be on the nuclear membrane. There is a question called as classification of hormone. In case if there is a question, classification of hormone receptors, then you can add on this के situation किधर है. जो cell membrane पे है, they are mostly catecholamines, adrenal medulla और cortex का. Catecholamines, that is C, and cell membrane C. Cool. Then on cytoplasm we have steroid. Now cytoplasm का C को हम थोड़ा extend करेंगे, so it will become an S. You put in an ulta C. So it is steroid. Don't get confused. First cell membrane was for catecholamines. Second cytoplasm is for steroids. Then we come to nucleus. Receptors of thyroid hormones are in the nucleus of the cell. When we do thyroid hormone, you will understand कि भाई thyroid का तो इतना function है, it is legit working on each and every system, each and every part of your body. So it is apt keeping that logic in your mind कि thyroid has an overall activity on your body to give it the position of nucleus. What I've just said is only for your understanding and remembering कि किसका receptor किधर है. How do the receptors act? There are, basic mechanism कि it will alternate the permeability of cell membrane. Then it can activate intracellular enzymes. So a receptor comes in, it will say कि come on now, this enzyme has to start working so that this sort of function can take place. Our third is that it could act on genes. Genes से क्या होगा कि there is going to be more protein synthesis होएगा, mRNA बाहर जाएगा, राइबोसोम उससे अपना ये बनाएगा protein channels and chains. So what it basically, all these three are just a way how they act. रिसेप्टर पे आएगा, रिसेप्टर पे अटैच होगा, देन इन तीनों में से कोई भी एक वे से अपना रिस्पॉन्स जनरेट करेगा. Cool. Now you have a question on classification of hormone. This is a chemical classification. I have seen this question being asked as a 5-mark question. It's just naming the hormones, okay? Pehla hai steroids. Steroid has this big list. Then we have proteins, and then we have derivatives of tyrosine. Derivatives of tyrosine में T3 T4 है. These are thyroid hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline and dopamine. I would suggest you to go through this table after we've seen all the hormones, because now it would be just naming and Greek and Latin for you people. You can either take a screenshot and refer to it later on. What you need to remember is कि steroid hormones कौन से है, protein based hormones कौन से है, and derivatives of tyrosine कौन से है. This is just another way of showing the same thing which we had previously seen. If you understand this and this looks better to your eyes, you can draw this. There are steroids and non-steroids. Okay, steroids में एक तो एड्रिनल कॉर्टेक्स के थे और दूसरे जो सेक्शन था वो है सेक्स हॉर्मोन्स. एड्रिनल कॉर्टेक्स के जो भी हम हॉर्मोन्स लेटर ऑन पढ़ेंगे, you can all add on here, right? Then when we come to sex hormones, the word sex in itself suggests that we have to talk about male and female. तो वैसे और एक टेबल बन गया. Here you mention down all the female hormones and here you mention down all the male hormones. I think this will be easier for you to remember as well. Then here comes peptide hormones, that is are protein derived, and amino acid derived, that is tyrosine derived hormones. Okay, so here we had T3, T4, adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, and here we had again a big long list of protein hormones. This you can omit, miscellaneous wale, but yeah, this table is also good enough. This was the basic introduction, function and classification, mechanism, action, whatever you want to say, of hormones. After this video, we will be starting on with each and every gland and discussing about their function in utmost detail.